Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and I'll tell you one thing, this podcast won't be censored. In fact, it's uncensored 97. But before we go to 1997, we got to talk about 2025, big weekend for CM Punk as he apologized to the Saudi government, then proceeded to have a horrible match. Which
It was bad. I thought it was. Was it bad?
I thought it was horrible. It's not really their fault because Triple H overbooked. He overbooked the interference at the end, and I fucking
Um,
hate and Seth Rollins decided to walk slowly to the ring. I hate Seth Rollins. I hate him. I can't stand him. He's one of the
well, you
worst.
know how I feel about interferences and how I just, so I'm not gonna watch that shit.
It was like it was horrible. It was a waste of time. The whole show, dude. I didn't think Uncensored was that good. But I will rewatch Uncensored 30 times before I rewatch some of these WWE pay-per-views of the last few months. Like, you know what gets me about these WWE shows? It's not even like, because, yeah, you can argue like Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, like their work rate was good. The pacing of these shows is like torturous. I don't know what it is, but like I was watching WrestleMania 19, which is a pretty long WrestleMania, and the pacing was so much better than the pacing is now. Like it's just the pacing is off, man. Like everybody walks slowly to the ring. And if the fans are cheering, they take an extra 5 minutes just to like listen to like the fans sing the song, and it's just it really is like, ugh, I don't know, man. Do you find the pacing of these shows to be atrocious? I think the pacing is
Current,
like
you talk about
bad.
the current shows, right?
Yeah,
Yes, but you know who I blame for that is wrestling fans.
yeah.
I blame the wrestling fans for that because um, essentially wrestling fans can control it. Like if we didn't like it, I think the wrestling fans would let it be known that they're not fans of this shit and it would change. But I think the modern day wrestling fans are a different breed of people than our generation. And they actually like shit like this more.
I mean,
They
I'll
like
say
the
this.
entrances. They like the entrances more than the actual wrestling matches. They like all that shit. And I think that's why WWE and even AEW in a sense cater to shit like that. It's because of wrestling fans. No one else
I'll
to
say
blame but them.
the Jey Uso entrance at Wrestle. I haven't watched the night one of WrestleMania back, but the night one entrance of Jey Uso was pretty fun live. Like you do definitely feel like you're at a party live,
Oh,
and you
dude,
kind of get
you're
what.
part of the problem. You're part of the problem,
But what I'm
Oos.
saying is like you don't like. I'm not worried like, oh, how is this going to look on TV? Because like he comes out to the ring and we're all just everyone's just you're just kind of taking in like the crowd going, just me, Oos, right? And then the match starts, and I go to Twitter and like, oh, interest was fucking. It doesn't feel like what I'm saying is it doesn't feel like it takes forever when you're there in the building. But same thing with CM Punk, his entrance at WrestleMania. It might like if you watch it, I watched it. It's a long entrance on TV. It doesn't feel long when you're in the arena.
I
But
bet you
yeah,
the people in Saudi would say the same thing. They would be
yeah.
like,
But
"Oh, you
like,
didn't feel long, but it fucking is." And I think wrestling fans are just they're the problems. They're the ones who create this issue.
you know who had like the best entrance was Stone Cold Steve Austin because he gave you moment. He gave you 4 moments because he would go to the four corners. He gives you 4 moments where you can go nuts, and then he stands in the middle of the ring and he's like, "It's time to go." You're like, he's like, "All right, here's your 4 moments for you to take in," and he does it very fast. He walks to the ring with purpose, so it's almost like you're going nuts because you know you have limited time to go nuts because I don't know. He just does it better than some of these guys. But listen, people CM Punk apologized to Saudi Arabia, and
Yes,
people were mad at him.
He apologized to Muhammad and all of Saudi Arabia for a tweet he sent a couple of years ago, 6 years ago, that it wasn't really even about Saudi Arabia. You know that?
No,
Um,
it's about the Miz. Apparently, yeah, it's about the Miz.
Yeah. Even the
Well, I thought it had nothing to do with
podcast he
Saudi.
did where he swore he would never go to Saudi Arabia, that wasn't about Saudi Arabia. That was about the Miz. I hope people
That
understand.
was on.
He apologized, so it's over now.
I mean, he
Um,
apologized. Muhammad accepts it. So
Muhammad accepts it. That guy, legit, CM Punk made his day because this guy was like, I got CM Punk to apologize not just to me, but for my entire country. He had like an orgasm when CM Punk was shaking his hand and apologizing. You see that? He fucking was like, oh my God. I bet you he was like, I hope the 72 virgins in heaven are impressed with this shit. Right? Like,
people say people say he's a plant. I don't think he's a plant. I'll tell you why. Because he was wearing a 1999 SmackDown logo hat. I think if WWE had a planted Saudi fan, they would have had like Cody Rhodes merch on or Jey Uso merch. This guy, you only wear a 1999 SmackDown logo hat if you're like a real fucking nerd. You know?
yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Like you're not wearing that hat. Yeah, like no one in WWE would think people Triple H would be like, no fan would wear that hat. That's a stupid hat, you know. But I really do think Muhammad. Here's the thing, man. Saudi Arabia, he got a massive pop on his way to the ring, CM Punk, and when he goes, it's clobbering time. I never heard a louder "it's clobbering time" than yesterday. So, like, this is the thing he had like that high and mighty American attitude towards Saudi Arabia, which a lot of like, liberals do, right? But that's
Mm-hmm.
still their country, and they're still proud of their land, and they're still proud of their way of life. And you judge these people, and then you come to their country, and they cheer for you louder than most of America. I think that should. You don't know who you're talking about when you talk shit about a group of people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I would say I was very surprised at how like geeky comic wrestling nerdy Saudi Arabia fans are. I was
Well, I
very
mean,
surprised that they were so fucking geeky.
they've had here's the WWE keeps going there. Dude, they started going there in
Oh,
2018. So like if you were like 5 in 2018, you're now like 11 or 12. So this has been like your entire childhood is getting into WWE and getting into like what I mean? Like it's been a while now, bro. Like if they go in 2020, like you know what I'm saying? Like if you were like 17, you now have like a wife and kid, you're an adult, you had an arranged marriage. Um it's you're growing. So like this is something that you grew up with now. So it's not just like this thing that showed up yesterday. Like if you go back and watch the 2018 Saudi shows, it's mainly just like I think the Saudi government told people they had to go. And now these are people that want to be there because they're
I
invested.
it'd be really funny if one of the Saudi princes is like this billionaire wrestling nerd like Tony Khan.
That's how it started, right?
Oh my gosh, you're telling me that one of them is like a super wrestling nerd?
Yeah, he was the one who he there was one of the princes was requesting the main events that they were putting on for the first 2 years. That's why the main
What
events
happened?
were so weird. He
Oh,
asked
what
for
happened to that guy?
I don't know. I don't keep it. He's probably still there. He asked, dude. He wanted Yokozuna in the main event
But
of the
he's not
first.
a nerd if he wants Yokozuna because he needs to know that Yokozuna's been dead.
He was into '90s wrestling, so he wanted to see that. He wanted some '90s matchups.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't count. Like he's like one of those old school fans, like who doesn't watch new
But
stuff.
but
He's
what I'm
like,
saying to you is like that's why they did DX versus Brothers of Destruction. That's why
yeah,
they did Goldberg
no,
versus.
I know about the Yokozuna because it was like they wanted to shift in the '90s, but I was like, I want like a current day nerd in the Saudi family, just like,
Oh,
oh,
maybe
I
now
want
they
to see work
are.
rate, I want to see work rate,
Dude,
like,
maybe there. Remember, the internet was like really campaigning for Karrion Cross to have a match. Suddenly, he has a match in Saudi Arabia. Maybe that was one of the Saudis. He's like, "Oh, I love Karrion Cross. He's very underutilized." Triple
yeah,
H.
I want
He
somebody like
wants
that
to
in
bomb
Saudi
the
Arabia.
United States.
I
Bro,
want one of the princes going on the message boards in Saudi Arabia. He's like, if you disagree with my take, I'm gonna have you fucking thrown in jail.
listen,
I'm gonna have
you
you
don't like
fucking
Karrion
beheaded.
Cross. Then you'll never see your children again. I mean, but that's on you. You know.
So funny.
Um, what you call it? People were upset. So one guy said, my problem with all the criticisms of Saudi Arabia from supposed like liberal fans is, and this is anyone Jewish people when they criticize Palestinians, is eventually the argument is that, like these are like subhumans that don't deserve entertainment. That's what kind of like they dance around it, but that's kind of what they mean. And they were like, why? would CM people are mad CM Punk apologized to Saudi and not to his coworkers in AEW. Well, I'll just say, you want to dehumanize Arabs? Muhammad is an apology because he's a human being, and Hangman Adam Page is not a human being, and he does not deserve anything. He does. He's subhuman to me. He doesn't deserve an apology because everyone in AEW is not a human being. They're disgusting animals that should be shot. There you go. That's
That's
why they
that's Bray Goots' take, Buys. I will not agree with that one. But that's Ray Goots'.
Hangman Adam Page is not a human being, and he doesn't deserve happiness.
No, I mean I don't know. I
But
don't get the consistent Hangman Adam Page hate. I don't get it. I really
um,
don't get it.
I find a lot of his fans, the whole thing about him is that he's this sweet little guy, this cute little guy, and his anxiety, and I just think he's boring. And I think the thing, and he'll never recover from this with me, is when CM Punk just basically called him every name in the book in that press conference. And he didn't like retaliate once. He didn't say one thing. I think that really hurt him. I told you back I couldn't take him seriously after that presser, and I still can't. He never recovered from that in my eyes. He never recovered from that.
I don't hold that against him because I don't think that was his call. That's like I think he would say something if he was allowed to. I think
Well,
was I directed, don't fucking say shit. That's what I
well, I think that they damaged his box office appeal by not saying anything.
Yes, I agree. And that's why stuff like Tony Khan's a fucking idiot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um I like I said, I don't blame Hangman for
I
that
just
shit.
I just never saw him as anything, and all of the stuff they have him. I feel like they overcompensate with guys like him and Swerve, which is why they have them like breaking, like fucking, hitting each other with trucks, and shit like that. Like I just feel like they constantly overcompensate because they know that like these guys don't have it, but they can't. I don't know.
I can see that too. Yeah. I think they overcompensate a lot because they don't have the storylines, they don't have the gimmicks, the characters, or they overcompensate by doing all this extra ridiculous wrestling, extra hardcore shit, hitting each other with like they put more damage on their own bodies to compensate, and I think that's the wrong. You know what? Right now they don't understand. 10 years from now they're gonna fucking feel it. But that's their problem. That's not my problem. You're not gonna
I don't.
fucking feel sympathy for me for that.
I don't think the Seth Rollins CM Punk story is that good, but I do get that they don't like each other as characters. And I feel like Tony Khan is so lazy. By week two, they would have had like Seth Rollins like light CM Punk's apartment on fire. Oh
Yeah,
wow, I really hate what?
I like that CM Punk and Seth Rollins, they're just constantly like, I really don't fucking like this guy, and I want to fuck with him any chance I get. Like, it makes me feel like there's like real legit problems there. You
Yeah,
know?
and when Hangman Page lit Swerve's house on fire, it just felt to me like these guys, they don't have the tools. They don't. They scream at each other. They scream, and they really, to me, is like they never really given a reason, like a legit reason why these two don't like each other this
You
bad,
see,
like
that's
this bad.
even that in the storylines, they're overcompensating.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I
mean.
feel?
Yeah,
Yeah, like even it's not just like what they do in the ring. It's like even in storyline, there's not like adequate amount of storytelling that they have to go to the extreme to overcompensate. Once again, I blame that on Tony Khan
yeah.
because he's the booker. Do you understand? Like he's the guy with the pencil, as I say. He's the guy who's writing this script, and he's the one who's directing it, and he's doing a terrible fucking job. Um, he's just not doing a good job.
Like I know. I think the one thing is Swerve broke. That's the other thing. So I think Hangman Page said I lit your house on fire because you broke into my house and stared at my baby. But even
Oh
Swerve,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Swerve breaking into the house and looking at the baby. Why are you this like at that point they just were feuding because the company said you guys have to feud. Why are you taking it to this level so soon? Like I don't like what I mean. It wasn't earned. It wasn't earned. Like Triple H broke. And again, I don't like any of these storylines I'm defending, but they're better than Swerve Hangman. When Triple H broke into Randy Orton's house, It's because Randy Orton beat up his wife. And Randy Orton beat up his wife because she was laying there and Triple H was handcuffed. And he's like, "Oh, I have a moment to fuck with you because I've been waiting to fuck with you because you ruined my career in 2004." So it built. You had like a 5 year build to Triple H finally breaking into his house. And again, I thought that was stupid. Remember
Yeah,
that Raw?
that was stupid.
I thought
Oh
that
my
was
god,
stupid, but
stupid.
there's at least more of a reason for Triple H to go into the house and beat up Randy Orton than Swerve. Again, this is like week one of Evolution. Triple H is like beating up fucking Randy Orton's dad. You know, like what? Why? Like you guys, why are you beating up his dad? Why did it go to this level? Because if every feud goes right to that level, then who gives a shit about like a regular fucking feud? You know?
You know, I would be okay if no wrestling company ever does this stupid storyline of going to the house. I don't think it ever works, except for the only time that it actually worked was, in my opinion, was Dominic Mysterio. And the reason why it works is because
Because he
it's
got
also,
arrested.
yeah, and it's also his house. Yeah, and he got arrested. Yeah.
He
And
has to suffer consequences.
yeah, if
He
anything,
suffer in the real world.
it was the best one because that led to his like gimmick. Like it led to his character evolution, you know? But
Hey,
I didn't like it when Austin did it. I didn't like it when Triple H did it. I don't like it, sure as hell don't like it when fucking Hangman's doing it. I don't like it anytime. It's stupid to me. It
well,
really dumb.
here's the other thing, Oos. Like, because I feel like the reason why they didn't, I think like when the horsemen attacked Dusty Rhodes in the parking lot, they kind of made sure that you didn't get the face on camera because then Dusty, I guess, could bring the footage to the cops, and the cops could like if
Arrest
this
them, yeah.
is if if this is a real story, if this is a real like feud, right? Or this wrestling's real, right? The logical thing if Hangman Page burns down the home you just bought is to have him arrested. Like, like you have like at that point, it's like Tony Khan should have to like at least fire the guy because it's like why because what's stopping Hangman Page from just lighting everybody's house on fire if there's no
Exactly.
consequence?
This is why
Like
it's stupid, but this is why it's stupid. Yeah.
like to go like over the weekend he should just be burning down Death Riders houses because clearly number one the cops don't care, number two insurance doesn't care, number three his boss doesn't care. No one cares, so you just burn people's houses like just burn fucking and he just and that's why I didn't like it and so my thing is this is that like a very simple thing for him to do would have to get his like machismo back would have been like to say fuck you CM Punk on TV, right? They don't want to do it, okay, fine. But then when you have them burning down houses and then just going to work on Sunday like nothing happened, you're overcompensating and it doesn't work.
Yeah, but fuck it. Just everyone do me a favor. Just don't go to the house anymore. Just stop doing that shit. That shit's so fucking lame.
Unless it's in your house. Unless it's in your house.
Yeah, unless it's in your house. Yeah, unless it's. I wish we were doing an in your house review because that would have been a great segue. If we were doing an in your house, would have been it would have been great segue. But we're not. We're not doing a WWEF pay-per-view review.
Yeah. We
We're
are
doing a
doing
WCW one.
uncensored. And let me tell you something, guys. If you ever doubted that WCW was doing great in this time of year, this show, uncensored, outdraws WrestleMania. Outdraws WrestleMania. It's not like they moved Halloween Havoc to March. It's not like they moved Great American Bash. They outdrew WrestleMania with unfucking censored, which really there's never been a good uncensored. So they've already been two bad uncensored, and people still wanted to see this whole WrestleMania.
Yeah, you want to go over the numbers first?
Yeah, go over the numbers first.
All right. So Uncensored 97 had 9,285 people in attendance, 325,000 pay-per-view buys. So as Ray was mentioning, it outdrew WrestleMania. How many pay-per-view buys did WrestleMania have? 237,000 pay-per-view buys. So it nearly 100,000 more pay-per-view buys for WCW Uncensored, which took place just a week before WrestleMania. Do you know it took? Yeah. Do you think Uncensored happening March 16th and WrestleMania happening a week later on the 23rd kind of stole some of WrestleMania's thunder? That's why they did less pay per view buys WrestleMania because
I,
okay,
I don't
if
think
you yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think people gave a shit about the WrestleMania card. I don't think people cared about Steve Austin yet, the way that they are going to very soon. I don't think people gave a fuck about it. I don't think people gave a fuck about that card. I don't think people gave a shit. You
Mm,
know, I just think, and they had not done, like if you saw the commercial, you saw the commercial on the Final Four for WrestleMania. It just feels like they're not doing anything to make WrestleMania or the brand feel special. It just feels like we have to do WrestleMania because it's coming up on the calendar, you know. And now look, I'll tell you who saves WrestleMania, and we'll get to it next week. Is Bret Hart and Steve Austin. They make it special again. But if you don't know that. I mean, even Austin wasn't sure the match was going to be any good going into that show. So if you didn't know that, and their big celebrity is Ken Shamrock, and this is still when UFC is kind of seen as like a dirty thing. It's not a mainstream thing, and
yeah.
he's like the big special guest, and it's like I don't know,
It's not
like
much of a it's not much of a celebrity like when you compare it to WrestleManias of the past, where they have
yeah.
like Muhammad Ali, they have Ray Charles, they had Salt and Pepper singing the fucking anthem, they had Pamela Anderson, and now these are all mainstream people. Kem Shamrock was not a mainstream guy. You're right.
And
So even that's a drop. Yeah,
I mean, he does a great job. He does a great job as special guest referee, and that's I think
absolutely.
really.
I think he was
I,
one of the best transitions from a celebrity into pro wrestler was this intro. Yes.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that next week more. But
Yeah.
I just think people also they were more invested in WCW storylines. I'll say that. So I'm going to say this about the show. I don't think this was a good show. However, the very end of the show is phenomenal, and I think sometimes that's more important than putting a good show because I think what happened. I think people that left Super Bowl, the people that went to go see Super Bowl at the Cow Palace, probably left in a bad mood because they had no idea what that ending was about. And I guarantee you, everyone who left uncensored, even if they thought a lot of the matches stunk, which I did, they left being
Mm.
like, I'm going to come back. That was fucking amazing. Because the last thing they see is probably one of the best angles in the NWO story so far.
Wow, I feel like we watched two different shows because I am the opposite of you. I think all the matches were good, and then the ending was fucking stupid.
Well, no, I think when Sting shows up, it's good. Everything before Sting is
No,
good.
even that's stupid because I will get into that, but it's I don't think it's as good as maybe you think. I think it's bad. I think the way they did it is poorly done. Um,
See, I disagree.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we disagree. I feel like we saw two different shows here. It's interesting. But let's get into it. Uncensored 1997 takes place March 16th. You'll never see it coming. That's what the tagline is. Charleston, South Carolina. It not only outdrew WrestleMania a week that would happen a week later, it outdrew the previous Uncensored, which also had a large pay-per-view buy. It had 250,000. This one's 325,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's a lot. We get a great intro to the show that recaps the entire card of all the matches we're going to see. Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, American Dream, Dusty Rhodes are on commentary, and a commentary team they start talking Dennis Rodman. Man, WrestleMania had Ken Shamrock, fucking uncensored. It's not even their flagship like pay-per-view has Dennis Rodman. They're like, Dennis Rodman's gonna be here. Oh my god, NBA superstar Dennis Rodman's gonna be here. Is he gonna show up? Who knows? What's he gonna do? And they also lets us know, the commentary team before the pay-per-view lets us know that Eric Bischoff, the president of WCW, was suspended by the Turner Sports president. So this is kind of a nice development. They're like, yeah, he Eric Bischoff runs WCW, but guess what? There's a higher power than Eric Bischoff, and that person has suspended Eric Bischoff. So I do like that. It puts a little bit of that realism in there. What did you think?
Yeah, no, that was good because Eric Bischoff was, running Wild with Power. And again, in the real world, if you just do whatever you want, you eventually get consequences. And since we're supposed to pretend that everything on this show is real, that's good. Again, it
Yeah.
goes back to, yeah. So,
Do you know
he
what would
gets,
have happened, guys, if Eric Bischoff wasn't suspended by the president of Turner Sports? Eric Bischoff would have probably went and just burned down Ted Turner's house, and with there's no repercussions for that. And we can't have that. See, this is why there needs to be rules, okay? You know what didn't have rules? The first match. The first match is a no disqualification. U.S. title match. We got Dean Malenko versus the champion Eddie Guerrero. Both guys start with some hard shots to each other, and Eddie Guerrero, when he's getting the edge in the match, the fans are booing. The fans are solidly behind Dean Malenko. They love Dean Malenko.
They love Stinko Malenko.
Yeah, they love Stinko Malenko because dude, this is the year he's on fire. He is the top wrestler of the 1997, and he just we're watching him do it. By the way, during this match, um, even though Stinko Malenko is a fan favorite, they do take us backstage, and we see that the outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they are checking on a fallen Rick Steiner in the back, and they're acting like they're concerned. Oh, who knocked him down? Who knocked Rick Steiner down? So that's a development that's going to happen later on, but they show it during this match. Dean Malenko, going back to the action, Dean Malenko, he tosses Eddie Guerrero over the top rope. He gets the title belt and he hits Eddie Guerrero with it in the ring. Remember, this is no disqualification. However, Eddie recovers and he starts working over Dean's left knee, which gets boos again. As we go back to backstage and we see that Rick Steiner's getting put in an ambulance, he's going away. He ain't coming back for the rest of this card. Dean Malenko is on the guardrails and Eddie Guerrero jumps off the top rope, but Dean moves out of the way, so Eddie Guerrero comes crashing into the guardrail real hard. There's no disqualifications. They both low blow each other. Dean Malenko hits a frog splash, but doesn't go for the cover. He goes, no, I'm going to hit that clover leaf that I like to end my matches with. So he puts on the Texas clover leaf. When Six, the 1-2-3 kid, X-Pac, comes out and he takes the U.S. belt. His gimmick in WCW is he's constantly stealing the belts from people. Eddie sees him, and he grabs him on the apron. And Six, what do you call it? He tries to hit Eddie, but he tries to get a camera and hits Eddie with the camera, but he misses Eddie, and the camera goes flying over Eddie Guerrero's head, and he lands in the ring. Dean Malenko grabs the camera, and then he clobbers Eddie Guerrero with it, and he covers Eddie Guerrero to win the title from Eddie Guerrero. This match is 19 minutes long. It's the second longest match on this pay-per-view. I thought it was a fantastic opening match. I gave it a B+. You didn't like it?
No, I like this match.
Oh,
There's
okay.
other matches so that I don't like, but I like this match. Yeah, this was a great match.
Yeah, good opening match. I did not originally like this Six constantly stealing the belts gimmick, but the way they're keeping it consistent, I do start liking it. It's like it fits his character. And Dean Malenko, I can 100% understand why this guy won Best Wrestler of 1997. This guy's just putting out hit after hit after hit. It's like he can't miss in this year.
You know, the thing about Stinko Malenko and Eddie Guerrero is that, you know, they have really good chemistry. Again, Dean Malenko, he's kind of taking the Rey Mysterio spot for now, where he's like the opening guy, he sets the tone.
Mm-hmm.
They always set a really good tone with these opening matches in WCW. And the thing about X-Pac is, or Six, whatever you want to call him right now, it's good that he's there, because then, and they don't do it, but if you wanted to, if you ever want to slide in these guys into the war with NWO, and level them up, Six is your entry into that. So the fact that Six is kind of buzzing around this division is very smart.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after this match, we get Mean Gene. He starts plugging the hotline. He goes, "Hey, a star is gone from WCW. Who is it? Call the hotline. You'll find out." I don't know who it is. Who was it?
Who could they have been talking? I don't know. A lot of people were coming and going back then. Disco got fired for a few months and then came back, and I don't know. So it could be a lot of people. Marty Jannetty wasn't hired yet. Maybe Ray Trailer's still there. Maybe Earthquake. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe Earthquake. Yeah,
bro, it could have been anybody. It could have been like fucking a guy on like the Renegade left for a week, and that's what like the way he left it vague. It could be anybody, bro.
Yeah. All right. So after this, after he plugs the hotline, Roddy Piper joins Mean Gene, and he starts yelling about, "I want Hogan in a cage." I want Hogan in a cage, and then he starts talking about Piper starts talking about Rodman. It goes, oh, Rodman, he wants to see me in a kilt. I'm like, what does that mean? What are you referring to? That he's gay? Like, I don't get it. Like, what are you trying to
Yes, he's
insinuate?
trying to say
Is that what he's trying to say? That Rodman's gay? Is that what he's trying to
yes,
insinuate?
yes.
Stupid. He starts ranting about the horsemen. Oh, the horsemen this, and he starts talking about cloning. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I can't stand Roddy Piper in the 90s. I just can't stand him in the late 90s. He's so like annoying. Like, what is he talking about cloning?
Because he just does whatever he wants, and they just
So
let him because it's WCW.
stupid.
Like he was doing whatever he wants with Vince McMahon. Vince, like, he went over at the '89 WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania. He just goes over his time and does whatever he wants, and Vince still used him for like years. Do you think anyone in WCW is going to reel this guy in if Vince McMahon can't reel him in, and it's just like whatever about it?
Yeah, you're right. So luckily, this terrible promo is saved because we get the Horsemen, Jeff Jarrett, Chris Benoit,
Oh,
Mongo, and Deborah. They join and they saved this fucking segment. Oh, Jeff Jarrett talks about us like going, hey, the Horsemen, we're gonna work with you, Piper. You don't have to worry about us. We got your back. And Mongo cuts a promo on Lex Luger and the NWO. Mongo, those of you guys say he sucks and everything. Watch this Uncensored 1997. Mongo cuts a better promo than Roddy Piper in this segment, hands down. I'll fucking put money on it.
someone's going to gamble with you about the promos in '97.
No, because I'm just sick and tired of people. Oh, Mongo wasn't that good. Like, dude, he's cutting better promos than Roddy Piper in 1997. You know?
Dude, a lot of the things, a lot of the opinions in wrestling were people that just read Dave Meltzer and didn't actually watch anything and
Yeah.
think for them because somebody had a great point. Somebody said about CM Punk rapping. Someone said like, well, Dave Meltzer isn't gonna. He made a joke because like Dave Meltzer's not gonna like it, so therefore it must be bad. That, and it's like because Dave Meltzer wouldn't like the minute I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was a great. I thought it was fine. But the minute that Punk walked out in the fucking John Cena cosplay outfit, like you
Old
just tell
school
like that's
John
something
Cena.
Meltzer be like, no. But yeah, people let Meltzer dictate their opinions, and yes, by Meltzer's logic, fucking uh McMichael, I'm having brain farts today. McMichael's bad, but he's not bad. So you can go fuck
No,
yourself.
he's not bad at all. So after this, we got to go to our second match. It is a cruiserweight match. We got Psychosis versus Ultimate Dragon, otherwise known as Ultimo Dragon, with Ray Goots' favorite manager, Sonny Ono. Ultimo
He
Dragon.
he he. I don't give a fuck who's in the ring. He ruins the match. When they cut to him, he ruins. He's a hate crime. He is a. You should sue WCW because his existence is a hate crime against all Asians. When he looks into the camera, ha 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 ha, dude. Oh my god, I couldn't like as good of a match as was. He ruined it for me. He's the reason they lost the war. He's one of the reasons they lost the war.
It's one of the reasons why
Yeah,
WCW lost the war.
and I'll tell you why, because Bischoff still to this day thinks Sonny Ono's like they still hang out, and Ono is only on TV because he's Bischoff's friend because they get along.
Mhm.
But the fact that Bischoff doesn't understand putting him on TV was like a major mistake. It's not just like, oh, this guy's annoying. This is like every time you want to give WCW a chance and be like, you know what, this is better than Vince and WWE. This guy comes on your TV like, no, actually, Vince McMahon's better than smarter than the entire lot of you. So yeah, Sonny Ono is the reason why this company's out of business. He's one of the reasons.
All right, that's fair. Hey, I'm not going to disagree with you on that one, brother. But I will disagree that this match wasn't good. I like this match. Starts off with Ultimo Dragon. He does a bunch of useless stuff in the beginning, like doing all these like spin kicks and flips for no fucking reason. Like he does a headstand on the turnbuckle, and he does like a middle rope walk that leads to nothing, which is kind of stupid. Luckily, Psychosis is like, you know what, fuck you, man, and he fucking hits his top rope leg drop, and then when he does that, he hits when he does his top rope leg drop, he hits Ultimo Dragon in the face, and I think that like Volko, I think that made Ultimo Dragon stop doing this goofy shit. Psychosis does he does a suicide dive onto Dragon, which gets the first real reaction from the crowd. Psychosis does like an awkward leg drop off the apron and almost hurts his own right leg. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He's on the apron, Dragon's on the outside, and he goes for this leg drop, but he doesn't like, because you know when you go for a leg drop, you fucking sit on your ass, right? But it's the concrete, so he doesn't want to sit on his ass. So he like does a leg drop, but he tries to brace himself with his other leg, and he almost like breaks his fucking right leg. He luckily he doesn't. Dragon hits his Asai a moonsault to the from the ring to the floor as the commentary team can't give a shit about this. They start mentioning particle boards. Like, like Mike Tenay said particle board. I want to talk about that. What's particle board? Like, shut up.
Don't they like start making fun of the name of the moves during the replays? Is
Yeah,
this
they
the
do it all the time, but like
they do it like
made
extra?
fun of the fact that he mentioned particle board instead of table. They're like, it's not a table, that's a particle board. It's like, all right, dudes, relax.
But no, in the replay, Dusty and Bobby Heenan are just shitting all over the moves in this match. That's another reason, by the way, why they went out of business. That's another reason because these guys are killing themselves. If I was Ultimo Dragon or who's the other guy? Fucking Psycho. I know they don't. I would have been pissed that Dusty Rhodes like, you're fucking just making fun of my match. You're not gonna help me get over. You're not gonna help this company develop new stars like that. You fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah. So even though we just shit all over this guy, there is a moment in this match where Psychosis is on the outside and the referee is distracted, and Sonny Ono starts doing these fucking martial arts kicks to fucking Psychosis, right? Like a spinning back kick and everything. The crowd pops for this because it is fucking impressive. It's like out of nowhere. He just starts going like, bah, bah, bah. He starts kicking the shit out of him. I will give him that. If Sonny Ono had stopped doing the fucking stereotypical like like all that shit and just like came out there silently, and then just when the referee's not looking and he just started fucking kicking the shit out of the opponent, that would have been awesome gimmick. But he doesn't do shit like this. Did you weren't impressed by that? That was pretty impressive.
No, I'm not, because it's like if Jimmy Hart suddenly started beating the shit out of Bret Hart. Like, it's like, dude, like, no, like Psychosis shouldn't be selling for this guy. Psychosis should be like, what are you doing? Like, he shouldn't be beating up the wrestlers. That's another reason why he doesn't want this guy, he's like an annoying, like an annoying guy. Now he's beating up Psychosis. Just fire Psychosis at that point. If Sonny Ono could beat him up, Sonny Ono.
You don't have a problem when Paul Bear beats up guys.
Because they wait till they're weak, and Paul Bear is not annoying, and he belongs on television because he's an actual like a talented person.
I feel like that's like splitting hairs.
Like Paul Bear, like the way he does the moves, he doesn't like suddenly start doing wrestling moves. He'll like show you or hit you in the balls or something. Like Paul Bear does stuff that's not going to take away from the wrestler. Same thing like when Jim Cornette hits you with the racket. He's hitting you with a weapon. Like Jim Cornette doesn't like fucking body slam you and like fucking put you in the ankle lock or something outside. You gotta pretend you can't get out of it or something. You know what I mean? He does moves that like would hurt you if you weren't expecting it from a guy like him. You know?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair. All right, let's get back to this match. Psychosis recovers and he does hit a top rope hurricanrana, but he has a very relaxed cover that doesn't give him the win, which I like, because when you're getting cocky and you're not doing the hooking the leg and everything, somebody's gonna kick out. And this ultimately leads to his downfall as Ultimo Dragon hits a top rope DDT and then a tiger suplex to win the match. This was still a very well wrestled match. I give it a B-.
I thought it was okay. I just think like there's certain people that should not be in this company anymore, and they're in the company till the dying days, and they really take away. But it was okay. But for Sonny Ono, man, he should not have been on television. Some people have no business being on TV. Like, it's not like, oh, they just need to improve. No, some people just shouldn't be on TV, and he's one of them.
Yeah. After this match, We got Mean Gene Okerlund with Diamond Dallas Page, and Diamond Dallas Page starts calling out Randy Savage. He goes, "Hey, Savage, you keep dodging me. I'm calling you out, and you don't want to wrestle me." And all of a sudden, right when he's calling him out for dodging him, guess who appears? Randy Savage with Liz. And guess what? They got a issue of Playboy magazine with Kimberly Page in it. And they start showing oh, look at these pictures of like DDP's wife on the Playboy. He's like showing the crowd and stuff. And DDP's getting mad, and then Kimberly kind of stumbles out. Remember, they're actually I should give some background. They're at the entrance of the arena, right? When they're doing this interview, and Macho Man and Liz are like in the crowd, like on a elevated platform in the crowd. When all of a sudden Kimberly Page, she comes out through the entrance, and she's like stumbles out, and she's got like NWO, I guess, sprayed on her dress. And DDP turns to her, is like, "What happened to you?" And that little momentary distraction allows Randy Savage to attack DDP from behind, beats him down. He sprays NWO on DDP's back, and he starts yelling at DDP, "You're the man, DDP. You're the man." That was such a dick thing to do. And they get Kimberly down the ground. Macho Man wants to spray her. Liz goes, "No, no, no, no. Let me spray her." Liz sprays down Kimberly, and they tell her, "Hey, Kimberly, the NWO, we love you." That was fantastic segment. This heel Savage, this NWO Savage, is very good. I personally like it a lot.
I like Savage the heel. He hadn't been a heel since 1991. It's 1997, so it's been a while. So he's enjoying it. I don't like the vibes with him and Elizabeth because now they're just supposed to be friends. Like Macho Man's actively talking about dating Pamela Anderson, and she's like, "Yeah," and then he's talking about how he likes Kimberly, and so I don't like that vibe. I think Elizabeth kind of takes away from it. I mean, look, it's great to have her stand next to him. You know what? Nobody was better at sitting next to someone than Liz standing next to Macho Man Randy Savage. Like it just works when she's just standing there doing nothing. But the moment she tries to get over being a heel, it doesn't work for me. You know?
It doesn't work for her, but Macho Man as a heel
Hmm.
himself is very good. And I agree with you. Her doing this heelish thing kind of does hurt his act, but he's so charismatic that even though you got that like useless body of Liz there, he can still recover from that. But yeah,
All Liz needs to do, and she gets Macho Man over, is stand there and do nothing.
yes,
And he makes Macho Man a 30 times bigger star than he already is, and he's already a massive star. But the
yeah.
moment she starts doing anything, it hurt. It's so funny because it's like you got the easiest gig in the world. You just stand next to this man, and both of you are legends. It's so funny. It's so weird how that works. But the moment she like even like has an expression on her face, it completely collapses. You know.
Yeah. Let's get back to the action in the ring. We have a martial arts match, or I want to call it the Mortal Kombat match. We got Mortis, who is Chris Canyon under his awesome mask gimmick, with James Vanderberg. This is, by the way, Mortis's and James Vanderberg's, like, I guess, pay-per-view debut. It's actually Mortis's in-ring debut for WCW, as it's Chris Canyon's debut as Mortis in wrestling. James Vanderberg, by the way, if you guys want to know, it's Sinister Minister from ECW. They're going to be fighting Glacier. And what do you call it? They're supposed to be like, the Mortal Kombat characters. The match begins with Mortis spitting on Glacier, who decides to kick him in the face. They both start doing these great looking kicks, and to each other. And Glacier is winning the battle of the kicks. Glacier suplexes Mortis on the floor, but Vanderberg, he pulled Glacier off the cover in the ring. So Glacier gets annoyed, gets back out of the ring, and he starts chasing fucking Vanderberg around the ring. And as they're chasing around, Mortis does a running baseball slide, and he fucking kicks Mortis, and which begins the beatdown process. Mortis even hits the buckshot lariat. Did you see the buckshot lariat? It is great. It's a good looking buckshot lariat. He hits that. Glacier counters with not one but two Famazers, and he also with a power bomb, and he starts doing his comeback. Glacier tries the Quranic kick, his finishing move, but he misses, and Mortis counters with a kick of his own, which gets a very too close with a very close 2 count, but doesn't get the win. James Vanderberg, he decides to get involved, and he gets in the apron and he holds Glacier for Mortis. And Mortis goes for a kick, but Glacier jumps out of the way, and Mortis almost hits James Vanderberg. And he stops, but a little distraction is enough for him to turn around, and he gets hit with the Quranic kick from Glacier for Glacier to win the match. After the match is over, Mortis just attacks Glacier from behind when all of a sudden another guy starts coming out to the ring. It's Wrath, another one of James Vanderberg's Mortal Kombat characters. And Wrath and Mortis, they double team and beat down Glacier. This might sound silly because it was like Mortal Kombat characters, but the actual wrestling in this match I found very good. I gave it a B plus. I liked it. It's a simple storytelling, good versus bad. But I thought it was effective. What did you think?
I hated this match. I hated it.
What didn't you like about this match? I don't get it.
But Canyon doing a lot of moves that no one's ever done before, but because Glacier stinks, he has to do them very slowly. He has to do a lot of moves very slowly, and it felt like an AEW match where it's like we're gonna do all these moves, and I felt like Canyon in his head. I feel like Canyon set up this whole match, by the way. And I'm gonna have this epic match. We're gonna put over Glacier, but because Glacier it was so slow. It was like they're having a Will Ospreay match at like 50% of the speed, and I couldn't get into it. It's like, bro, like this guy can't hang like this, and this match is going on way too long. No one cares about these two characters. Nobody cares about James Vanderbeek, like whatever the fuck his name is. By the way, that guy, I was shocked how young that guy looked because by 2000 he looks 20 years older. Like he gains weight. No one. He always is the WWE didn't give me a chance. Yeah, because you on TV and you just let yourself get in worse shape than you already are. Like how. Yeah, I didn't like this match, man. I thought Canyon was trying to do too much that he wasn't ready for, and Glacier wasn't ready for, and I think it suffers. It tries too hard to be epic, and it's like this just should have been shorter. You know, this just should have been shorter.
I guess we'll have to disagree there. I liked it.
You didn't think they
So
were moving in slow motion, these guys, like to set up
no, I
everything?
didn't think they were. I thought for 1997, they're wrestling at a decent pace. Sometimes if it's too fast, it's not good because then it's like you're getting beat down and you're still going at this fast break pace. It's like you're not hurt at all. Like it's stupid, you know. Um,
Mm.
they were slow, but I like the storytelling in this match. And the storytelling is Glacier is a better martial artist than Mortis. That's the story they're telling. That's why he wins the Battle of the Kicks, right? And
Hmm.
however, Mortis has this evil manager that helps him get the edge, right? And that's why Mortis starts getting the upper hand. However, the bad guys they go to the well one too many times. The manager gets involved again, but this time it backfires on them, and that's why Glacier won. It's a simple storytelling match, but I liked it. They did it. I thought they did it effectively. And then I like this ending where Wrath comes out. It almost felt like when like Undertaker had all these like Paul Bear kept sending all these bad guys after him. It's kind of like that. I enjoy stuff like that. So it's like, all right.
I get the story they're telling. They could have told it in shorter spurts. It had the AEW problem where there were like three sequences that could have been good finishes, and then the match kept going. And I don't think either guy was talented enough to keep it going. So
Oh, okay. All right. So we get after this, we get a recap of something that happened not in the arena. It's happened a while ago. The Steiner brothers are driving in a car, getting to the next show when the NWO is like chasing them down with a car, right? And they keep like bothering the Steiners, which makes the Steiners actually crash their car, like flip the car over. And the announcers let us know, the commentating team lets us know, the Steiner brothers did not file any police reports because they want the NWO in the ring.
So at least they're trying to
This,
explain why Paul and Ash aren't in prison.
yeah, this kind of has that stink of the Hangman
It
Adam.
does.
It does.
It
And I
does.
don't
But
like,
you know what,
I don't like
people?
shit like this. It's too stupid. It's too stupid when they do shit like this. It's too stupid.
But you know what, the people did shit on this when it happened, and they've been shitting on it for years. Even Kevin Nash is like, that was kind of stupid to go to that level. Whereas everyone thinks the Hangman Page house burning thing is fucking great. They want to make that it's dog shit like this is. But yeah, it is pretty stupid. But I will say at least they're attempting to explain why Paul and Nash are still like at the arena. You know?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true. Let's go to match number 4. It is a strap match. We got Buff Bagwell versus his former tag team partner again, Scotty Riggs, who still comes out to the American Males theme song, which I thought was kind of funny. Scotty Riggs still comes out to the American Males. Like, can you guys just give this guy another theme song? The tag team's dead. He's fighting his tag team partner. Why does he still have the same theme song?
American meals.
The match begins with Scotty Riggs just whipping Buff Bagwell with the strap, and then Buff Bagwell returns whips of his own. As this is happening, the commentary team, I guess they got a hold of the Playboy magazine that has Kimberly Page in it because they start talking about the Playboy magazine. They're not even paying attention. But Buff Bagwell, he gets crotched with the strap. However, Buff fights back and he beats up Scotty Riggs and gets behind Scotty. I like this part where he made Scotty Riggs do the American Males hand clap from behind, right? But as he's doing that, Scotty Riggs low blow kicks Buff Bagwell's, which was a cool spot. However, Buff Bagwell's is still in majority of the control of this match. Buff gets shoved by referee Anderson. When he shoves the referee he shoves Buff Bagwell back, and he falls, takes a bump for it, which gets a big pop from the crowd. This is like a signature Buff Bagwell thing he does. Scotty Riggs starts fighting back, but then he gets hung on the rope, on the apron with the strap. Buff, remember, it's like a tag thing. So Buff Bagwell, after he hung up Buff Riggs, he starts tagging all the buckles, and he even decides to tag the last turnbuckle with his own ass. That's right. He jumps backwards, ass first, into the turnbuckle to win this match. Afterwards, Buff Bagwell's, after he wins his match, he looks into the camera, starts talking to the camera, and he calls Scotty Riggs a faggot. His words, not mine. Go watch it. He says it. They didn't bleep that out on the Peacock. B minus. It's not a bad strap match. I liked it.
And so you know I know I don't like that Buff Bagwell does a lot, and the announce I don't this happens, this goes till the end. He talks to the camera while the announcers are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And the announcers keep talking, and he keeps talking. And he's saying nothing of interest. But it's at the same time, it's like but now I'm annoyed with all of you because you're all just talking over each other. I hate how he does that. He looks at the camera and just gives a speech into the camera that never really goes anywhere. Yeah, I didn't really care about this match. It was okay. To me, it's like putting Scotty Riggs on pay per view at this point is like a waste of the. Well, William Regal could have had a match on this show. Fucking La Parca could have had a match. Even Disco Inferno, even Alex Wright and this fucking guy. It's just a waste of my time. You know.
They buried Scotty Riggs in this.
Good. Yeah, good. He
Yeah,
should be.
they buried him because like this is the second match. Remember, this is supposed to be a grudge match between these two guys. They're former tag team partners, right? And Buff Bagwell won the first one, and then Buff Bagwell like decisively won this one. Like it was not even a contest. It's just like he completely beat him. I mean, it's just like they really didn't believe in Scotty Riggs at all for this to happen. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Let's keep going. So Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, they're all in the back and they're talking about measuring dicks and shit like that. And they guarantee victory. They guarantee victory for the NWO, and they start looking at the Playboy magazine with Kimberly Page. This is a very popular issue of Playboy. they start talking about stuff. Dude, I don't understand what any of these guys are talking about in this segment. They're all talking in stupid ass cliches. And then they mentioned Rodman. This was a stupid segment. I hated this segment.
Yeah, this was not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Let's go to our fifth match. It is a Texas Tornado tag match. That means everybody in at the same time, whenever they want, fight whoever you want. You got Harlem Heat with Sensational Sherry versus Public Enemy, who come out with a whole bunch of garbage or plunder, as Dusty Rhodes would say. Rocco Rock before the match begins. Grunge has a hat on, right? I don't know if you saw this. They're on they're around the ringside, and Rocco, as he's walking by Grunge, he grabs the hat off of Grunge's head, which annoys the shit out of Grunge. And he goes and he confronts like Rocco, like, don't ever fucking do that shit again. Did you see that part? I
Yeah.
don't know why he was so mad about that.
No,
Anyway, Public Enemy, they bring a garbage can to the ring, and that was a bad move on their part because Harlem Heat just grabs the garbage can and starts using it on Public Enemy. Sherry gets involved. She hits Rocco as Grunge uses a toilet seat lid on Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray doesn't like that, and he starts firing back, and Grunge starts bleeding. Public Enemy gets some good headshots on Harlem Heat with with whatever instruments they have. And Harlem Heat, to their credit, they really sell the headshots that they're taking. The crowd pops for like every single one of those. Like when he's hitting them with the garbage can lid, the people like or garbage can, the crowd pops. Not only did the crowd love it, Dusty Rhodes and Bobby the Brain Heenan, they love it too. Every time Public Enemy hits Harlem Heat, one of the Harlem Heat, in the head with like a fucking garbage can or a trash can lid or a stop sign, they fucking love it. It is fantastic watching these guys, listening to them like pop for that.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry hits Stevie Ray by accident like multiple times in this fucking match, right? Like Stevie Ray holds one of the Public Enemies and for Sherry to hit him, and she goes for a hit, and one of the Public Enemy dodges out of the way, so she ends up hitting Stevie. They did this like 5 times. It happens like 5 fucking times in the match. It's kind of stupid. Eventually, Sherry does just jump on Grunge's back, and he just like runs backwards and he squashes her against the guardrails, and then he lays Stevie Ray on the table, and then Public Enemy do that thing where they just fucking like both fall through the table with Stevie Ray, and then all this is happening when Jeff Jarrett comes out to distract the referee, and as the referee is distracted, Mongo uses his briefcase and he hits Grunge with it. Then Booker T hits the Harlem Hangover on Rocco, and when he does, you see the replay for this? He lands like right on top of Rocco's head, like his ass. He sits on Rocco's head when he does the fucking top turnbuckle flip down. This was a fun match to watch. I gave it a B. It was just like it was like a car wreck. You're watching a car wreck. It's fun to watch. B. You didn't like this?
It was okay. This is what it's Uncensored is all about. At least it wasn't a traditional tag match where they had tag in and tag out. But at the same time, I feel like Public Enemy always has the same matches. Like, I feel like the reason why they had a beef with the Acolytes is that you have to work to them. They're not going to work to you. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is you have to do what they excel at. They're not going to do what you excel at. So I just feel like every Public Enemy match is the same, and the announcers laugh about it, and it doesn't mean much in the long run. It was okay. It was fine. I mean, it's Harlem Heat, so it's always good with them. So especially with Booker
I
T.
agree. By the time it's like 1999 and 2000, this act is tired, right? I agree with everything you said. Like Public Enemy, they're not gonna wrestle your style. You have to work their style because they're very, very, very limited. And
Mm-hmm.
like 2000, like I said, it's this so tired. It's a tired act. But in 1997, you're not seeing this a lot, and it is kind of fun watching this.
I
Are
mean,
there matches
WCW, you're not
always?
seeing it a lot, but you're seeing it a lot in ECW. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Are you basically watching a nothing match? Yes, you are watching a nothing match. There's never any real like repercussions from their matches storyline wise. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're watching a pay-per-view, like this like throwing this on the pay-per-view is like fun because you're getting cruiserweight action, you're getting great main event storylines with NWO, and you get this like fucking match where there's just garbage, a train wreck happening. Like you're getting your money's worth. You're getting like everything in this WCW pay per view, you know, and that's why I like it. It's just like it's a fun little extra thing that you're getting, you know.
Hmm.
Anyways, after this, Mean Gene Okerlund, he's starts talking about the main event. He tells you what's on the line for the main event, and he basically says, he breaks it down. This, listen, if WCW wins, they get all the belts, and the NWO is now gets banned. However, if Team NWO wins, they get all access to our television. If Piper's team wins, remember Piper's with the Horsemen, Piper gets Hulk Hogan in a cage, which is like the worst thing on the line. You know, like if
Well, you know,
WCW.
why would anyone help? Why would anyone help Piper and fight against the WCW guys for like? How does and maybe they explained it on Nitro? And remember, we're not watching that. How does that help Jeff Jarrett, Mongo, and Chris Benoit? Because the NWO is still around. If Team Piper wins, they can
Yeah,
still like run people over and stuff. They just Hogan's still the champ. Like, how does that help anybody? Like, wouldn't it make more sense for like Piper and WCW to work together and then like they could have their own?
and here's the thing: only Piper gets something. You know,
Yeah,
like the Horsemen don't get anything. It's so stupid. I remember, like, just
and,
like,
and then
uh,
like and then like you're a target. Like now the NWO is still around, and now you're a target, Benoit, Jarrett, and Mongo, because it's
mm-hmm.
like now we're still around. Hogan may have to fight this idiot in a cage, but we can still fuck you guys up, you know?
Yeah, I love like listening to Mean Gene because I mean he's going over the stipulations. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good. What WCW is going to get all the title shots, NW's banned. If NW wins, they get access to all TV. Oh, that's pretty good. And if Team Piper wins, Piper goes one on one with Hulk Hogan in a cage. I
And,
was like,
and
that's
you
it.
don't even it for the title. It could just be like a
Yeah,
non-title match. But dude,
it's
I would have
so.
done this. I would have done this. Piper gets Hogan in a cage, and then the Horsemen, all the Horsemen, including Ric Flair, get title shots at the next pay-per-view.
You know what I would have done? I would have given Roddy Piper a bag of coke and been like, "Go away. Here's a bag of cocaine. Get the fuck out of here. You
It would have
fucking
been
suck."
much better if it had been eight NWO members versus eight WCW guys, and the
Yeah,
stipulation.
that's even, dude. That's even better.
Yeah,
Yes, that's even better. Yes,
yeah.
it's so dumb. It is so stupid. Um, Scott Steiner, the Giant, and Lex Luger they join Mean Gene, and they each cut a promo on NW. Remember, Rick Steiner was attacked and he was put in an ambulance, put away. So he was gonna. So he's not there. It's just Scott Steiner, Giant, and Lex Luger. Before we get to the main event, though, we got a couple more matches to go through. It's going to go to our match number
Oh,
six.
wait,
It is a
before we get to the main event, how crazy is it? Like Scott Steiner's basically cutting a promo like big bad booty daddy Scott Steiner, but he looks like classic Steiner. Like
yeah,
he,
because Big Bad Booty Daddy Scott Steiner looks like Rick Steiner. He's got the facial hair and everything.
yeah. But like this Steiner is still like the fresh face, like college kid, but he's talking just they like he's got the promo down. They don't never let him talk, but he's got the promo down, and he sounds just like the NWO version of Scott Steiner. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But he's got that fucking, what is that, like a mullet? He's got like a mullet and everything, you know. It's very interesting. Um, let's go to our match number six. It is a return television title match. It is Rey Mysterio versus Prince Iake. If you guys recall from our previous recaps, Prince Iake beats Rey Mysterio for the TV title with interference from William Regal. And Prince Iake, because he's a babyface, he was like, "Man, I don't feel comfortable with that. I want it to be in fair and square." So this is a return match for that. The action is good. These two guys can work well together, but the camera work is kind of shaky during this whole match. Or it's like I don't like the camera work in this match. The action's good. I don't know if they were trying to do this thing like look how close we are to the action. It's fucking annoying. Um, the crowd is very silent for this. They do not give. It's not that they don't care about Rey Mysterio. They just don't care about Prince Iake, right? And the reason why is if you watch previous Rey Mysterio matches, the crowd loves Rey Mysterio, right? And
Mhm.
they just all of a sudden just don't give a shit about him here, and it's because it's Prince Iake. So Rey's just beating on Prince Iake, and nobody cares. And then when Prince Iaukea starts firing back with his own offense, the crowd starts chanting boring. Did you hear those boring chants?
They were very loud.
Yeah.
They were very loud.
Mm-hmm. Rey Mysterio hits a twisting moonsault and he goes for the cover, but the bell rings as time has expired and this is a draw. Rey Mysterio, though, gets on the microphone and he goes, "Hey, how about we get some more time on this? Come on, give us some more time so that we don't want to end it on a draw." And Prince Iaukea goes, "Yeah, I'm going to give you more time, Rey Mysterio, because I respect you." And the crowd is not happy about this. They start going like, "Ah, they don't
Yeah,
want more. They don't want more of this match." The
yeah.
crowd starts chanting boring even more. And then Rey Mysterio hits the West Coast pop, but Prince Iaukea reverses it to win the match. Um, Not only was the crowd not into this, but I hate that thing where they went to the time limit and then like, "Oh, we'll get more time and we'll do it." Like I hate shit like that.
And
I
then he
gave
loses that.
Yeah, I gave it a C. It's just an average match at best. It's not terrible. It's just an average match at best.
And that's the bigger sin. Yeah, this match was atrocious. This was the worst. This is the worst match Rey Mysterio has had since he joined WCW. Or since we've been watching this, because I don't remember him having a match bad. I think it says a lot about Prince Iaukea, though. I think it says more about him than Rey Mysterio that this match is this bad. The first month, it wasn't that bad, but it had a story. This month, there doesn't seem to be much of a story. Again, these guys seem to be thrown out there just to waste time. And it sucks. It sucks. I'm wondering if this was a test to see if Rey Mysterio could like pull a great match out of like an average guy, but who has a big build. You know, I'm wondering, and they probably blame Rey Mysterio for the reason why the match sucked. But Prince Iaukea, last week I was like, oh, he's not that bad. I don't know why people shit on him. Now I get it. This was not good. This was not good at all.
So what's really interesting about Prince Iaukea is Prince Iaukea was WCW's answer to Rocky Maivia, like a Polynesian babyface. He debuted, I think, like only a month or two after Rocky Maivia debuted, right?
Yeah,
And it's really funny how in both WCW and in WWF, the fans do not like this Polynesian babyface character.
yeah.
Like both they don't like it. It's so interesting. Like they're like, "No, we don't give a shit about these fucking like Islander baby faces. We only like them when they're Jacob Fatu. We don't like this shit."
You know what? He should have yelled out "all gas, no brakes," to Rey
Yeah.
Mysterio, and then people would have been like, you know what, this guy's got it. Yeah, but Prince IK is what the WWE fans thought Rocky Maivia was when they started turning on him. Like they
Mm.
thought like he's just this bland guy who can't win out. I don't know. Listen, the biggest offense is all the skills are there from Prince IK. It's not like he's not doing the moves. He just doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any charisma.
I I think he does have some charisma. It's just like he's just not good in. He's not at a point where he should be a TV champion and like going up against face versus face. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he
he's going
should
through a time.
he's the guy who should be going up against like Mortis. You know, he shouldn't be doing like face versus face. It's just like it's not working. He's already like not like an established good guy where people can get behind. Why are you putting up against somebody who's more popular than him? That's stupid, you know?
And people feel like that guy isn't getting his.
Yeah. You're putting him in a match with a guy who's not only more popular than him, but a better wrestler than him. Like, what are you doing? You're just setting him up to fail, you know? And that's like, I just think that he had the card stacked against him. That's probably part of the reason.
Yeah.
We got to go to the main event. But before we do, there is a Spring Stampede little uh, skit that they do, and it is a Western skit. And you got all the horsemen in cowboy gear going like, "Hey, there's Spring Stampede. We gotta get ready for it." It's all right, kind of fun. I enjoyed that they do that. The horsemen, get it, cowboys, horsemen. All right,
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I
it's
mean,
cute. It's
it was
cute. Yeah,
cute. It was cute. It's more creativity and more originality than some of their other fucking uh commercials, you know?
I agree. Yes, I agree. All right, let's go to our main event. It is a triangle elimination match. Remember, you mentioned there's three teams: Team WCW, Team NWO, and Team Piper. We're gonna start the match with one representative from each team starting off the match. We start with Chris Benoit representing Team Piper versus Scott Hall representing Team NWO versus the Giant representing Team WCW. And Benoit attacks Scott Hall right away, and the Giant just attacks them both. Everyone starts fighting, and by the way, Ray, feel free to chime in whenever you want during this. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone starts fighting, and then Scott Hall's in the corner. Giant charges at Scott Hall to kind of like squash him in the corner, but Scott Hall ducks out of the way, and the Giant actually goes over the top rope to be the first one eliminated in this match. I was surprised that they eliminated Giant super early in this match. He's the first one. Was this like a punishment or something?
I think they were like, I think they wanted the odds to be against Lex, and they were like, we need to get
Oh.
this thing out of there right away.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think it's like they also it's like the Giant eliminates himself because he's so overzealous. So I think in their minds like, well, that doesn't make him look bad, but I think it makes him look bad.
I think you're right. They probably thought it doesn't make him look bad, but you're right. It does make him look bad. It made him look stupid.
Yeah.
So next out for all three members is Jeff Jarrett representing Team Piper, Randy Savage, Team NWO, and Lex Luger, Team WCW. And then after that, after they come out and they start fighting, we get the next one: Mongo, Team Piper, Kevin Nash for Team NWO, and Scott Steiner representing Team WCW. And Scott Steiner is a house of fire. He comes in, he starts suplexing NW member, suplexing Nash, suplexing Scott Hall, Savage, and the fans are going ballistic for Scott Steiner. They love this shit. I was enjoying the suplexes. Kevin Nash, he clotheslines Jeff Jarrett over the top rope for Jeff Jarrett to be the second man eliminated.
Get him out of here. Fuck him.
Get him out of here, yeah. He was, I mean, he's a horseman here, but he is the least liked horseman in this group.
He got no pop when he walked out. It was like,
yeah. He got no pop. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. He didn't need to be in this match. That's like the best way to say it. He just didn't need to be in this match. I know Arn Anderson was like,
put him in.
Yeah, but they had nobody else. Ric Flair's injured. Arn Anderson is injured. They're just like, Arn Anderson's like career is almost over. He can't feel his arm. So they have Jeff Jarrett, but he's like a nothing person.
Yeah.
Scott Hall, he backdrops Mongo over the top rope. So now that's a third elimination. So Team Piper is looking not so good. It's only Chris Benoit. Then Roddy Piper comes out, and to his credit, he gets a big cheers from the crowd. People love, even though his promos suck balls, they still love Roddy Piper to death.
By the way, he said when Michael Buffer says if Roddy Piper wins, he gets Hogan in a steel cage. I was shocked at the pop that got. Like people were like, "Oh, I want to see that," and I kind of thought or assumed that after that last match, Piper Hogan's out of gas, and it's not, man. That says a lot, bro. That says a lot. That pop. Did you hear the pop for if he wins, he gets the match? I was shocked that people were excited.
You think it's stupid? The crowd is super into it, which proves that even in 1997, wrestling fans were really, really fucking dumb.
No, what it proves to me is that these two guys were just over, and like Vince gave up on them too soon. I've said it over and over again.
That's true, yeah, but they also, I think that's also a stupid stipulation that they're super into. They really could have run Piper versus Hogan for a long time. Like we're talking like Seth Rollins, CM Punk. You revisit it every few months.
Oh, they do. By the way, they have that steel cage match in October.
Oh, so they do it. Okay, good for them. As Piper comes out, Kevin Nash, he big boots Scott Steiner in the face over the top rope for the fourth elimination. Piper goes right after Kevin Nash, and it does not look pretty. They're like grappling with each other, and it looks. I know these two guys will have problems later on, and I feel like you can see it starting here, where they both want to have the upper hand, and they're just grappling, and they're just like, it just doesn't look good, right?
Just Kevin Nash is so big, it wouldn't look good, in my opinion, for Nash to be bumbling around to Piper's offense. But I think that's exactly what Piper wants because
Mm-hmm.
Hogan can get away with it. It looks weird for Nash. It's like right now, it's like I can have Darby. Okay, as I Hangman Adam Page can have Darby Allin bounce around the ring, but Sutton Singh, and I'm not saying it's because Sutton Singh is such a good wrestler. It would look stupid if Hangman Page started bumping him around the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
And I
don't
think,
think Piper's understanding that.
yeah, I think Kevin Nash understands that, and he's trying to be like, I'm supposed to overpower you, but Piper is like, no, and I think that's why it's looking weird. Luckily, they do break off, and Piper starts squaring off with a smaller Randy Savage. Then, finally, Hulk Hogan arrives with Dennis Rodman. They come out and they don't even get in the ring. They just start hanging around outside the
So
ring.
I don't think people understand. Like, we got to really let people understand that the Chicago Bulls in 1997 were the hottest basketball team in the world. And everyone, because of Uncle Jordan, everyone was a star. But this guy stood out even more because he's kind of like the bad boy. He's kind of like the Guy Gardner of the Green Lantern Corps. He's like the bad guy. He's like the bad guy. He's the guy doing weird shit and walking around in wedding dresses and stuff. But he gets away with it because they win championships. This whole weird group, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, but they were massive, massive stars. So Hulk Hogan walking out with him in March of '97 is like because I don't I there's NBA guys that are stars, but they're not at the level of this guy. It was
Okay, so
massive.
yeah, to understand this, 1997, yeah, Michael Jordan is not only the biggest basketball star, not only the biggest athlete, but he's like legit a celebrity, right? And he's on the Chicago Bulls, and they win the NBA Finals that year, they championship, and Dennis Rodman is a key member of that team. How much so that they have this documentary that's on Netflix about
The last
the
name.
Chicago Bulls. Yeah, The Last Dance, and Dennis Rodman is heavily featured in that. It is a big deal. It would be like if Steph Curry or something like that was coming.
It's there hasn't been a dynamic like that because thing about it is it's like I feel like now the guy would just be weird, but Dennis Rodman was not just weird; he was winning massive championships. Like there was a
He was
massive.
good. He was super good. He
Yeah.
wasn't like he was like an actual big time player. It, what I want to know is how did they get that for Dennis Rodman?
Hulk Hogan and became friends.
How?
Maybe at a party. Hulk Hogan was still a big name. Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan was get into parties and stuff. It was a really big deal. Well, the funny thing is, no one knows this, but WWF was talking to him first. They were trying to have him wrestle Goldust at SummerSlam. That was their idea for '97
Mm.
SummerSlam. And Hogan was with Rod. Oh, this is the story. Hogan's with Rodman in New York. Calls Bischoff. Bischoff is half asleep. Hogan says, Rodman wants to do something with us. And Bischoff goes, all right, tell him I'll call him later. No. You need to talk to him now because WWE wants him to wrestle Goldust. And you need to make a deal right now. Get out of bed. And Bischoff got out of bed and called Rodman's person and made a deal. Like, you need to make the deal now.
Damn, Hogan is such a businessman. Like
Yeah. You can't wait on
that was the
this.
right call. Yeah.
I love how, but like every now and then, Bishop tells a story. You're like, oh, Hogan was your boss. Like you weren't really Hogan's boss. Like Hogan was. No, I don't care that you're asleep. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because I think they were in New York, and I think he's in L.A. when this is going now. But like, they did the Stern show together before this, and like it's a whole thing. And they promoted the. That's the other thing, dude. he promoted Uncensored on the Stern Show. Hulk Hogan. That's
Man.
massive. So like so many things are going right for Hulk Hogan, but for him to come out, there's a lot of photographers out around the ring, and I think like they're from big publications, and Hogan takes his time to take the photos, and I think at that moment he understands this match isn't important. This photo op is, and we need to get photos of me with Dennis Rodman in the arena, so we can because back then getting these photos in some of these magazines like People Magazine or Sports Illustrated or Time, that was insanely huge, especially for wrestling. Because now, like, I feel like now more people in power like wrestling, but back then people thought wrestling was for buffoons, and it really is for buffoons. But Hogan takes his time to get the photos taken, and I get a little annoyed watching it, but I understand why he's doing it from a 1997 perspective. You know?
And like Hogan understands this because he understands like when he was WrestleMania with Mr. T,
Yeah.
like you gotta rub up against a celebrity, you
Mhm.
get the rub from Hollywood. And so yeah, he very slowly gets in the ring, he's hanging around outside, like Ray mentioned, taking pictures. Finally, after he's done all the photo ops, Hogan finally gets in the ring and he starts choking out Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper starts running the ropes though in his comeback, but as he's running the ropes, Rodman pulls down the top rope, and Piper goes over the top rope to be the fifth one eliminated, all due to Dennis Rodman. So it's not like Dennis Rodman did nothing. He actually interfered in this match and cost Roddy
Yes.
Piper from having a steel cage match with Hogan. Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Rodman, they triple team Rodman on Piper on the floor. They're like holding Piper as they fucking beat him up. It is Rodman's getting all involved. Um, Scott Hall hits the outsider's edge on Chris Benoit, and then Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, they both together toss Chris Benoit out the ring for the
I
sixth
noticed that they didn't.
elimination.
I noticed that they didn't pin Chris Benoit when that could have been a moment to kind of bury Benoit. I
Uh-huh.
noticed that they just dumped him out. That leads me to think that at the time, I'm not saying they felt like this in '98. We got to save Benoit because Benoit's in the ring the entire time.
Yeah.
They Nash
First
have in
one
their
there.
head Benoit can rise up like DDP one day, so we better not pin him.
Yeah, and they both work together. It's not one guy who eliminates, two guys have to eliminate him. I like that a lot. All right. So after that, we have now 4 NWO members. So we got 4 NWO guys just beating up Lex Luger, right? And because we got Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, nobody was eliminated, and they're all just ganging up on Lex Luger as Rodman, he's still on the floor just making fun of Roddy Piper. Piper's been beat down. And Rodman even gets kind of like involved a bit. And all 5 of these guys, they just start beating on Lex Luger. But Lex Luger starts firing back and he starts attacking every single NWO member. And he puts Savage in the rack and Savage taps out for the 7th elimination. Fans are going nuts. They're just like, oh my God, Lex Luger, Lex Luger. Lex Luger clotheslines Kevin Nash out for the 8th elimination. And then he racks up Scott Hall for the 9th elimination, leaving him one-on-one with Hulk Hogan. And then he puts Hulk Hogan in the rack. And then Kevin Nash distracts the referee as Randy Savage hits Lex Luger with something. And then Hulk Hogan falls on top of Lex Luger to win the match, totally deflating the crowd once again. Once again, Lex Luger with fucking egg on his face, where NWO just comes out and beats him up. Afterwards, Rodman comes in. He sprays Lex Luger with the NWO. He slaps him in the face the same way that other dude slapped Cody Rhodes in the face. Who was that guy? That guy was also Dennis Rodman.
So
When
Dennis
Dennis
Rodman
Rodman,
actually knows how to work, brother.
yeah. So yeah, Rodman slapped Lex Luger in the face. Things looking bad for Lex Luger. All of a sudden, Sting drops down from the ring and he starts beating everybody in the NWO. Hulk Hogan and Rodman, they start yelling, "Hey, put that!" They powder out the ring. They leave the ring, and Hogan and Rodman are like on the aisle, and they're going to Sting. Sting, you put that bat down. You put that bat down, and I'll get in the ring with you. So he lets go of the bat, and Hulk Hogan gets in the ring for Sting to like fucking knock him down. Fans love it, but it's really stupid to me because if you are Sting and you are now against NWO, why did you wait until your friend Lex Luger gets his ass kicked and loses the match? Like, this is stupid. It's stupid. It's like if you're trying to prove a point to Lex Luger, you already did that multiple times already, right? Didn't Sting do that multiple times already, just leaving him in the lurch?
You're missing the point of the angle. No one knew what side he was on until the end of this event.
That's stupid still, though. That's dumb.
How is it
Okay,
dumb?
so what side is he on?
He's on WCW's side.
So he waited for WCW to lose before revealing he was on WCW side? You don't think that's stupid?
Maybe he thought WCW was going to win, and then he wouldn't have to worry about the NWO. And then when they lost, he was like, I need to stand up for WCW. His whole thing was, I'm not going to interfere. I'm going to let you take care of it. And he didn't interfere, and Macho Man turned on everybody. He didn't interfere, and Luger lost. So now he's got to interfere. He's got to be like, all right, now I've got to like stop being in the shadows, and I've got to come help WCW. I got to pick a side.
To me, this is dumb. This is stupid.
The whole thing is he's not gonna. He's almost like the fucking Watcher. He's not gonna fucking interfere, and now he is. Now he finally realized these guys can't get it done without me, so I need to interfere. I need to start and take a side.
Wait, he just realized that now? After all these months, he's just realizing.
Well, they're melting it for the moment where he does pick a side. He picked a side.
Not watching the fucking shows. Like, Sting, like, I get it. It's fun watching this development of like the Crow Sting, but when you watch it, a lot of it is kind of stupid.
Well, I mean, we're not watching the Nitros. We're not watching the Nitros where maybe what he's doing is working. I'm like not picking a side. So,
I don't know. I just think like when he like the first time he gets involved and then he drops like the NW members and then he goes, "See, don't you guys know now? Don't you believe whose side I'm on?" And he just leaves. Like, this is stupid. You know what he sounds like? He sounds like a bitch. Like, this is like a bitch thing to do.
I think there's a moment with that character where he doesn't know if he wants to really be with WCW. Maybe he does. I think the whole thing with that character is that he's conflicted on where he wants to be because WCW didn't believe in him. After all he did, they didn't believe in him. So maybe he should turn on everybody and join the NWO.
Then do it. Stop being a bitch.
Then he doesn't do it but that's part of being conflicted. You have two arguments. Should I remain loyal to something I've always remained loyal to, or because people treat me like shit, should I go with the fucking scumbags? And he changes as a person because he doesn't know who to go with. And then he finally decides I'm going to stick to I'm going to stick with WCW and go against the NWO.
After he watches them lose, I just think to me this is
because he wants them to do it on their own. He wants Luger to win on his own. He wants WC to. He
already unfair though. There's already like unfairness. There's Rodman's there and everything. Like he clearly does.
I mean, Luger almost does it until he gets sprayed in the eyes, which was horrible.
No, Team WCW already starts with a man down because they took out Rick Steiner. So they're the only team that has 3 members. So every team has 4 members. WCW has 3 members. They start with 3 members. They're already a man down. And then WCW, hold on, and then Team NWO adds Rodman. So there's 5 guys. Like, this is stupid. It's to me, I can't, dude. I can't buy into it. It's stupid.
You don't understand. Sting was not going to get involved until it's not like Luger. It's not like the 3 guys get eliminated right away and look like fucking idiots. Luger almost wins until they spray him in the eyes, and then he realizes Luger does need my help. Luger almost does it from a standpoint. He almost wins until that he gets sprayed in the eyes, and somehow he dies from that. But he almost does it, dude.
By the way,
Macho Man is got a whole submit to him.
By the way, they say it's a spray, but you never actually see a spray. I didn't see a spray.
Like, I don't know what they did to him that killed him, but he dies.
Yeah,
so, like,
he died. Yeah. Yeah, one Sting and he falls apart. Dude, I
I
didn't
mean,
like
so
it.
Sting
It made
was
like
kind of correct. Luger could do it on his own. I guess it's not like they look like complete idiots. Like Luger, the Piper team looks like idiots. Who cares about them? But
yeah.
I listen. I liked it. It sets up. Let me tell you something. It sets up the big match. Hogan Sting. We've been waiting for it. I also like the symbolism of Sting destroying four WWF guys. Did you notice Buff Bagwell's not in the ring? Uh, some of these other WCW adjacent NWO guys are not in the ring. It's four top WWF guys in the ring being made to look like a bitch. And Hogan is like, "Oh, you're so big. Put down the bat." And when Sting puts down the bat, it's like, "All right, I don't need the bat." And that to me is like, and then Hogan goes in the ring. People want Hogan Sting. Look, put aside the fact that they fuck it up in a few months. And we're going to talk about that. I thought it gave the fans what they want. It gave people hope, and it gave people now like, okay, now it's on. It's Hogan Sting. We're building to a Hogan Sting, And the symbolism of him kicking the shit out of four WWF guys was very good to me.
Yeah, I just think they're doing the same mistake that 80s WCW was doing with Lex Luger, just making him look like a complete fucking
Yeah,
idiot.
yes.
And yeah,
That's
making Lex Luger look like a complete fucking idiot. To me, Thing comes off looking like a bitch. He really does. It's like, dude, how many months are you gonna be? I don't know who's Dynamite. You guys didn't believe me. It's like, bitch, pick a fucking side. Like, it's been months.
At the end of the match, he
You're
picked up
are
his.
you a man? Are you a man or are you a fucking child? Because
He
you're
was a
acting like
child.
a child,
Till,
Sting. You're a child. You're a child. And that's why Tony Khan likes you, because a man child can recognize a man child. Okay.
Listen, you can say everything you want, but if he had just pinned Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 97, this is the most over he's ever been, and he's just standing there half the time. I mean, they're chanting
Yeah.
for him every single show.
This is one of the most over Lex Luger's been. They fucking ruined that too. This is stupid. This was stupid. C. I gave it a C.
Oh, the whole match was stupid. I'm saying that the final angle was good, but the match was
I gave
atrocious.
that whole match and the final egg as a whole, as a general, was a C. Not good. But anyway, you know what you guys should do? If you're listening to this, let us know which side you guys agree with. Do you agree with Ray that this whole Sting thing was an awesome moment, or do you agree with me that it was kind of dumb that he came out
People,
for the last
again, we really should be watching, because I've never seen a Nitro from '97. So
uh-huh.
again, we're only seeing half the story, right? But people
Dude, but
say,
that's how we've been judging all of these pay-per-views. You can't all of a sudden be like, when
I
we're watching
understand that,
other,
but I'm saying that like
yeah,
everyone loves the Sting storyline until Starrcade '97, then it completely
yeah.
collapses. Everyone
But
says
I'm
it's one of the
looking
best
at it
storylines
the
of
same way
WCW.
we've been judging. I'm looking at the same way we've been judging all these pay-per-views because we go like, maybe that's a storyline, but we don't fucking know that. We're
But
watching this
but
and
I
it's
do
stupid.
think when we get to like stuff that we saw, like I think if
Mm-hmm.
you watch in a vacuum some WWF '99 pay-per-views, like if you watch Vince Triple H in a vacuum, it's a horrible match. But knowing the whole build-up, and what Stephanie does at the end, this is when Stephanie turns on Vince. I really like the match. But would I like the match if I don't know anything about what happened between Vince, Test, Stephanie, Triple H? I don't know. But, I think we're going to, because we're familiar with some of these stories more so than this thing that we might grade these matches higher than someone who knows nothing. Because I think if you know nothing and you watch Vince, Triple H, it's a piece of shit match. You kind of have to know like the whole storyline to enjoy it, but we'll see.
I'm gonna say for that Stephanie Vince McMahon match, it should have ended with Vince taking a shit on Stephanie's head, but whatever. It is what it
Oh,
is.
that's going to be how the next WrestleMania ends. Vince has plans.
Yeah.
He's got plans when he returns. He buys back the company with the Saudis. I'm gonna say without even watching, we haven't watched WrestleMania yet. I don't care if every match besides Bret Austin is worse than I remember. WrestleMania is probably gonna win this month because of how good Bret Austin is.
Ooh. Can I wait until I watch WrestleMania to decide
Yeah,
which
but
one?
I just want you to know I've already given it to WWF the month of March
Based
because
on one match?
just based on one match, yeah.
Interesting.
But I
Okay.
remember. Listen, I remember Sid Undertaker being pretty good, and the LOD Nation of Domination Street Fight being really good. So unless they're like worse, I remember them being a lot of fun. D'Lo Brown takes a bump in the street fight that's pretty fun. So we'll see.
All right. So I'll actually wait until we review WrestleMania 13 for that. But all right, good to know.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
run
So
us
let's go
down.
over
Actually, this is the perfect time for you to run down the next cards.
the next 4 weeks. Next week we got WrestleMania 13. WrestleMania is always a big week on the podcast. People actually tune in.
Oh,
So we're going to talk Sid versus Undertaker. Then in 2 weeks, we have Spring Stampede 97 with DDP versus Randy Savage. Big moment in DDP's life, Moose. Then in 3 weeks, it's ECW Barely Legal with the main event of Raven versus Terry Funk. Then in 4 weeks, in a month's time, it's In Your House Revenge of Taker featuring Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. What are you excited about?
I'm excited about ECW's first pay per view, Barely Legal. How about you?
Yeah, I'm excited for WrestleMania and Barely Legal. I remember Revenge of Taker not being that good of a show. Spring Stampede, I'm like, it is what it is. It's whatever. I'm sure it'll be a fun WCW show, but I'm much more interested and more invested in talking about ECW. I really wish we kind of got to ECW when Sabu's death was fresh. Because a lot of my anger towards Paul Heyman has kind of like gone away a little bit. But I think
Maybe
I'm
it'll
sure
get
that
maybe it'll get rekindled when you're watching the pay per
yeah,
view.
yeah. So, but yeah, I am glad that we get to talk about ECW. We get to talk about ECW for a while, and I'm glad that it's not every month. Yeah, I think it would be like torture if like ECW was doing pay-per-views every month, like WWF and WCW. But it's a nice little break every now and then that we go to the land of extreme and we get to shit on Paul Heyman and Sabu a little bit, and then we go back to the NWO and Austin and all that. So it's good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys. That's the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to us on iTunes, Goots' Wrestling Pod. Give us a follow. We're posting clips on Instagram, posting clips on TikTok. Share them if you like them. We got some great comments on TikTok about our Shawn Michaels losing his smile speech. Some people were against Shawn. Some people said they don't understand what's the big deal that Sean did that, but these Zoomers they cry for anything. Like I lose my smile all the time. I'm on TikTok. But I think if we get I'm going to post a Super Bowl clip on TikTok today, and if we get some comments, I'll read them. You know what? Next week I'll read on the air what people say about us for the Super Bowl episode, and we'll do
Nice.
that every week.
Okay, cool.
If we get any comments. All right, guys, that's our show. Thank you so much, and remember, if you're gonna do anything, make sure it's uncensored. We'll see you next time.